Hey everyone, this is Chris of Monk Media, and once again we are going to be looking back at Alvin and the Chipmunks Season 1. And today we're going to be looking at episode 18A, Going Green. An episode that revolves around the Chipmunks trying to become more eco-friendly through the means of a competition. Let's take a look. There is so much to say about this first shot. First of all, the eco-meter appears out of nowhere. Also, Brittany is standing as though she's completely enthralled in the situation. And Eleanor is standing as though she should be a security guard. I can never say this enough. The grass effect is absolutely fantastic in this show. Kudos to that. The episode is already talking about eco-friendliness, which is a very good message to send to future generations watching the show. The way in which the dialogue is written subtly puts us right into the main plot. Theodore mentions that they're going to have a Going Green competition, or he wants to win it. That's very well done, but it always is the case when episodes are written by Janice Carmen.
Hawaii, here we come.
Hawaii happens to be the location that they shot Chipwrecked at. I really like this shot. Everyone is standing exactly where they were previously, and the camera is placed in such a position that shows you where everyone is, but also draws your attention to the centre of the screen where the action is taking place. Jeanette is standing in a similar posture to how Brittany was at the start of the episode when she was looking at the eco-meter. She's sort of standing with her hips tilted in such a way and her top half tilted in the opposite direction. I wonder if this is a trait that the Chipettes all share. And so we're indirectly introduced to a character called Pamela Glockenschlocker, which is quite a name, and I'm pretty sure was put in there for comedic value.
Anyway, she told her mom, and her mom told the school, and now any family in the school that wants to participate in the competition can. Isn't that great?
Typical Jeanette to give a long and convoluted explanation to something, and I quite like it that way. This is quite literally a split second of animation, and it's detailed. Very nice touch. Brittany refers to Pamela as this Pamela girl, so she must know of her because she goes on to say that she's a fierce competitor. So does she know her or not?
The many faces of me.
This is a really nice shot, all of them just silently conveying emotion through their face. Jeanette has a very good point. Even though there's more people in the competition, it's better for the environment because more people are doing it. Eleanor definitely breaks the female stereotypes. She's very sportsmanlike and aggressive, also very competitive. If that is the full reach of Jeanette's arms, how does she scratch the top of her head? Jeanette's conversation leads her to be talking to herself, and this facial expression just says it all. Alvin stops Theodore from going into the fridge by holding it shut before he can open it, but he had to pull up the stool first, so why didn't he stop him before he pulled up the stool? Theodore wants almonds and an orange from the fridge. That's oddly specific.
Theodore, the more times you open the refrigerator, the more times that precious energy is wasted. Gone!
Though what Alvin doesn't know is that the refrigerator is always running, unless he means the light that comes on when you open it. Alvin is a hypocrite. The episode sends a message about brushing your teeth. Seriously, always brush your teeth. It doesn't end well, trust me on this. But on this subject, Theodore is running the water as he brushes his teeth. I do this as well. I always thought this was just a thing that I did. If Eleanor gets trapped inside that washing machine, we could have a Stuart Little moment on our hands. The Chipettes are doing the Chipmunks' laundry, which leads me to this point. The Chipettes live in their own house, a tree house, which is probably 100% eco-friendly. But as we've discussed before, they probably have plumbing and electricity, so maybe not. And that brings me to my next point. Aren't the Chipettes sort of disqualified because they don't actually live in the Chipmunks' house? Who knows? This is a very nice shot of Jeanette. And for those of you who might suggest that this episode is made before the Chipettes get a treehouse, yeah, it's in the shot to the right. There you have it. The treehouse does have plumbing, But why are they turning off the faucets? Because that's the Chipettes' house, not the Chipmunks' house. And it's next door, so why does it count? Brittany is running a bubble bath, and Jeanette just walks in and turns off the water. I don't know what to make of that. Do the Chipettes have personal space of each other? And has Brittany ever locked the door? Another wonderful shot of Jeanette. This shot actively makes you imagine Brittany taking a bath in a very little amount of water. And then you realise what you're imagining and kind of get creeped out by it. Brittany sort of looks at the camera, breaking the fourth wall. Alvin Seville, Alvin the Chipmunk, whatever you want to call him, pointing towards a recycling sign. Brilliant propaganda. Dave installs eco-friendly light bulbs. It's funny the episode you can relate to. I use these as well. This is a wonderful shot. I also love Jeanette's helmet. And this is the wallpaper you can take from this episode. Let's talk briefly about the song in this episode. It's a very mellow song. It fits well with the episode's theme, more so than usual, I think. And it's not too screechy, it's not too loud and obnoxious. It's very mellow, like I've said, and calm and quite nice to listen to.
The many faces of Jeanette Miller. A lot of them are cute.
In all seriousness, though, the Chipettes and the Chipmunks have actively reduced their carbon footprint by half. That's sort of underwhelming considering everything they've done and sacrificed. Sometimes I can't tell if Eleanor's being serious or that's really how she is. Aggressive and sportsmanlike. Jeanette's eyes are so big, she gives the puss in boots a run for his money. Brittany comes in explaining that she knows that Pamela Glockenschlocker's carbon footprint is half of what the Chipmunks is. But is Brittany aware that theirs has just been halved? So is it the same or is it half of their half? Brittany can be a huge drama queen. They heard the hairdryer. Like Alvin heard the hairdryer as well. So he can hear the hairdryer all the way in his house? Or was he in the Chipettes' house at some point? We didn't see it. The way Brittany's body is kind of limped here and the facial expression she gives, it kind of looks like she's just been hit and fell to the ground, looking up at the person who had just hit her. What is going on in my mind? I've been watching way too much Arrow. I don't get it. Why do they all sit with their knees inclined? Isn't that uncomfortable? Here lies everyone, killed by not doing anything. In all seriousness, though, this is a new perspective we haven't seen on the house yet, from above looking down. I might have mentioned this before, but the pattern on the bottom of Eleanor's shoe, I wonder if it means anything. It's not confirmed or anything, it might just be sort of a in-world brand. This has to be one of the most unflattering shots of Brittany we've had so far. And on the subject of unflattering shots of Brittany, if you look very closely at her in this shot, you can see her dress coming through her cardigan at the top. Alright, so we know that the Chipmunks aren't doing anything. They're not turning on any lights, they're not running any water, they're pretty much doing nothing but just laying there. That would give them an almost zero carbon footprint, apart from the fact that maybe the fridge is still running and the gas and heating might still be running, kind of. So the chances of them winning is incredibly high. Whenever the Chipmunks all scream together in fear, I don't know what it is, it might just be me, but I just find it unconvincing. I love the attention they give to light on this episode. It's brilliant. Noises are being made around the Chipmunks' house, and it's probably just animals. But Alvin jumps to the conclusion that it's Pamela Glockenschlocker that's making all of the noise. It's completely silly that that would be the case.
She's giving us the stink eye.
That is hilarious. I can't help but notice that Pamela kinda looks older than the rest of the students in the school. This is a really nice shot of all the characters together. I've said in the past that I really like these low-angle shots where the camera is pretty much on the floor, but in this case, Jeanette walks past the camera and kind of, You see her butt for like 4 seconds right in the center of the screen, which is really awkward. When Alvin grabs Brittany, her facial expression is priceless. This is a really nice shot for a couple reasons. One, it points our direction literally at Alvin. If you look between Eleanor and Brittany's waists, you can sort of see an arrow shape, which literally points towards Alvin. Also, you get a very good look at the texture work on their clothing. And so we can see that Pamela is riding a bike to and from locations. But in order to beat the Chipmunks, she literally has to live in the garden because the Chipmunks are doing nothing. Her house would have to have no power, nothing at all, nothing running to it. She must be just living off the land. I cannot stress that enough. Okay, so I know they're taking pictures, but that's obviously his cell phone. Like, there's a couple things wrong here. One, you don't hold a cell phone to your eye to take pictures, and he's got his finger over the camera lens. But as you can see, it also happens with Brittany and with Eleanor. Eleanor, you can clearly see that it's her cell phone. There's no need to hold it up to your eye. Brittany is extremely acrobatic, but also very flexible. She almost hits her abdomen into her face. Jeanette just so happens to be sat on her balcony, looking at the table, doing nothing. She does daydream a lot, so this is in character. The Chipmunks stole Pamela's trash can. That's theft. Don't you just love the look on Brittany's face in this shot? Also, I can't help but notice the attention to detail here. You can actually see the shape of Brittany's ribcage.
The many faces of Alvin Seville.
It really throws you off when the show puts actual real-life images into the show. But I always appreciate it and wish they would do it more. It grounds the show in reality.
I didn't know the raccoons were in this competition.
Theodore isn't the smartest, is he? This isn't an editing mistake, on my part at least. There's a sort of random fade between two scenes here. It's uncharacteristic of the rest of the editing style throughout the entire episode, but it's just there, randomly. And yes, Alvin and Brittany hold hands, but they kind of give an expression afterwards of, oh my goodness, why were we doing that, but I kind of liked it look. Brittany even gives a second look, and it screams, I wish I was doing that more. Ha! The teacher can't say Pamela Glockenschlocker. Pamela keeps on talking even after she's walking away. Rude. This is a masterful shot. It really is gorgeous.
Yeah, that's right, Pamela. You better run.
That is the funniest line I have ever heard from Eleanor. And that now brings us to the end of the episode. I really like this episode. It's enjoyable and it sends a very good message to anyone watching it. And it really does, guys, because you should recycle. You should become more eco-friendly, unplug things you're not using, all of that. It's very important to the world because if we don't, it ain't going to last much longer. And my favourite character in this episode in particular is a mix between Jeanette and Eleanor. Eleanor being very cool and Jeanette being very eco-friendly. Well, guys, tell me what you thought of this episode in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, see you soon.